Hey, good morning, everyone. Man, what a beautiful day it is this morning. Wherever you guys are listening to this, I pray and hope that it's an amazing day. Just cool air blowing through, and yeah, you're just stoked on the week. And this morning, I want to talk a little bit about. And so, we live in this world nowadays where your identity a lot of times is based on your followers, your likes, the attention that you've gotten based on maybe how you're dressing or the car you drive. And it's a very superficial, materialistic approach. And while many of us claim that we don't believe and we don't receive those realities of how people think we are based on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, uh, I will at least admit that deep down at times I do base my life on that. And so what is happening is that we have these things that, yes, they're great. Social media is to communicate with people that may not be close, but I think a lot of times we're actually missing out on face-to-face communication. Oftentimes we might go out and you see at a restaurant there's couples that are more spending time on their phone than they are talking to each other, or kids are sitting around a table with their family and nobody's actually looking at each other. And the sad thing is that we are so hyper focused on our phones that we're missing what's going on around us. And so I want to jump into a little bit about that. And so, as we're doing this, one of the things I think is really interesting is that a lot of people say that they deal with comparison. And I think comparison at the root of it is envy and jealousy. And so, you'll see your friend post and they'll say, oh my gosh, we're in the Bahamas, probably before the hurricane, or, we're in Aruba, we're in Australia, we're in San Diego, we're maybe just living on the beaches of Florida, and it's sunny and it's nice and it's really enjoyable. And when you see that, you might be sitting in the midst of your office and it's freezing cold, and you are trying your best to find a good cup of coffee to make you as excited about the day as they seem to be online. But the reality is that a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, we put the best out on social media, and not even just the best, but the perfect. And the reality, guys, is that nobody's life is perfect. And if you look around in media and stuff, the tabloids, you see that even the people that have the money, have the popularity, have the fame, they still struggle. So it was funny. I recently saw this thing where it seemed like the guy was sitting on a sandy dune pile of sand in a construction area, and they were just sitting in their bathing suits and they were posing, and yet it looked so real. And so the reality, guys, is there's a verse in Proverbs that really struck my heart. In Proverbs 14, verse 30, it says, a man's heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. And, guys, I just want to encourage you, sometimes admitting it is some of the hardest things to do. Admitting that you are comparing yourself. At times, I look at people that are married or they have really nice cars or houses, and maybe their house is better than mine, bigger than mine. Their car is shinier. They might be going on a vacation, or they're engaged or married, and you could look at that and be like, in my life, I'm like, dang man, that's crazy. Like, I would love to have that. Not be pregnant. I'm a guy, if you guys can't tell by the depth of my voice. But the reality is that oftentimes we become so focused on what other people are doing that we lose the presence of the present. And I love the idea that the best gift that you can give to someone is to just be present. And so I just want to encourage you guys, and I think in the same way with that, the gift of being present to other people, it's to yourself too. A lot of times, if we focus on what we're doing and what's going on, it may really dilute the beauty and the greatness that's going on in your life right now. And guys, everyone could sit there and highlight what's going on in their life and make it look so glorious, but how often are couples showing the arguments they had or the difficulties they had, or when will you see a post about the 24 hours they spent in labor, or the person really shiny car, and we're seeing the front and the left side, but on the right side there's a huge scratch from someone who recklessly drove into them. And we are seeing highlights of people's greatness and what it looks like to be the greatest things in their lives. But guys, my encouragement would be this week, and as I'm going to be doing this as well, is to take some time to really sit with Jesus and ask for just revelation of all the beautiful things and the great things that are going on right now. Because honestly, and I'm just going to say this, sometimes you become so obsessed almost with social media that you forget, and you really need like an eternal power, God, to really just redirect your focus on all the beautiful things that He's doing in your life, around your life, in your workplace, maybe at the coffee shop that you go to regularly, even in traffic. I don't understand it, but God is a God of the impossible. So guys, I just want to encourage you with that this week. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing week. And guys, I just want to encourage you, as again, this week that we be praying for continued relief in the Bahamas, as well as for the people in Texas. I believe they're dealing with pretty heavy flooding. And I just want to encourage you as you go out to just love people. Keep loving people. One verse that's been highlighted, I was discussing with a friend today, was don't let the sun go down in your anger. And you know what, guys? As much as envy can rot the bone, so can things like anger and jealousy and stuff. And my prayer is that you have peace tonight from the rest of the day. My prayer is that you have peace for the rest of the week, and that peace becomes one of the most treasured treasures in your life. So I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you next week.